Hi there, my name's Kris, and I'm an imposter. Well, I feel like I am. A lot. And it sucks. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that is really super personal to me and something that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. And that's imposter syndrome. So, imposter syndrome isn't a recognized disease or something that you can be diagnosed with, but it is a very recognized phenomenon. It's also very common in the medical field. Another term for imposter syndrome is perceived incompetence or perceived fraudulence, which gives you a really good idea of what it is. So imposter syndrome is this persistent feeling of being less than or incompetent despite your education, your experience, and your accomplishments. People who suffer with imposter syndrome often work harder because they're trying to prove to themselves and others that they're not faking it, they're not fraudulent, and that they are competent. So they're essentially working to try and reach a higher standard. For me, I always felt like I got into medical school by accident. I felt like when I did my written application, they took pity on me for some reason and offered me an interview. And when I did my interview, funny story, I was very sick. I had a significant tonsillitis. I could barely talk. And I thought that they took pity on me in the interview and thought, well, she's trying, we'll give her a spot. The spot I got was what we call bonded medical spot. So it's a spot where the government will subsidize my place at medical school, like other places, but it's contracted. So once I graduate and fellow, I then repay them with time in an area of need. And I was told by a friend at the time that the bonded places were there for those who wouldn't have gone into medical school otherwise. They were the pity places. This, of course, is ridiculous, logically. Hundreds, if not thousands of people apply for medical school every year. People with really good grades, really good stories, really good writing abilities for the written applications. And hundreds are given interviews. And in my class, we had less than 200 people in our first and final year of medical school. So why would they give 10 spots to those who wouldn't have otherwise gotten in when they could have given 10 spots to those who would have gotten in? Sure, it was 10 extra spots added by the government, and whether it's because of where I lived or my educational background or something that got me into that spot, why does it make me less than? Logically, I know that, but it's really stuck with me. And I got into medical school 11 years ago, so it's been a long time. Through medical school, I got credits. Sometimes a distinction, and very rarely would I get a high distinction, usually on assignments and not exams. I wasn't a very smart student, but I was very hardworking, and I was studying a lot, and I did a lot of notes. And I think it gave me the reputation of being really smart, and people expected that I would get higher grades than I did. So I felt like I had to work harder to try and get higher grades to fulfill the expectation that other people had on me, which is, again, silly. I mean, there's a saying, peas get degrees, and if pass mark is 50%, if you get 51%, you worked 1% too hard. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to get better grades or work harder or fulfill a preconceived notion of what I thought that other people thought of me. And yes, people did say, you seem smart, you seem hardworking, you seem organized. And it just, instead of filling me with happiness and joy and going, yay, I am organized, and yeah, I am getting good grades, it filled me with dread, and it just wasn't fun. I felt like I slipped through the cracks to get into medical school, and I kept slipping through the cracks. My lecturers took pity on me, or they thought, it's too much hassle to fail a student, maybe someone else will, I'll just pass them. And then I graduated. I did okay in the hospital system. I worked in the hospital system for 2 years, and then I got into GP training. Sadly, this didn't make me proud either, because I had this voice in my head, the voice of people that I'd heard say these things, that GP is the easy specialty, or people who fail other specialties go to GP so they get something. And again, I know that's not true. But I just couldn't be proud of myself despite getting onto the training program in my second year out of medical school. Then I passed all my exams and I did my 2 years in general practice, and I, passed all of the hurdles, did my hours, and I fellowed. And I still struggled to feel proud of myself. I mean, how could I pass my exams when I felt like I had no idea what I was doing? I still use the guidelines, so I don't know anything, I would say. Or, I'm just lucky that no one's died yet. Or this year's exams were easier. Or they want to pass more people because of COVID and they need more workers in general practice. Like this imposter syndrome, this voice in my head, it just took away any pride I could have had for myself. God forbid I ever left the clinic. Every time I'd go on holiday or go away and I'd have someone else check my results, I would be filled with this dread that they were going to find a result or see a patient of mine and realize I had no idea what I was doing. That I would come back to notes of, Kris, why did you order this? Why didn't you action it this time? Why this medication? Your patient's actually really sick and you said they were fine. Like I've been on a couple of holidays in the last 3 years, and almost every single holiday I took my own results with me, or I checked them at some point to try and mitigate this, to try and stop people from recognizing that I'm an imposter. Part of me was like, yep, if I go away and they pick it up, I can improve. But part of me was like, I'm going to be kicked out. I'm going to be found out. And it's not fun to be filled with dread. Even when I wasn't away, if, a colleague of mine saw a patient that I'm familiar with, I would be like, they're going to pull me aside in the lunchroom and be like, what the hell are you doing? It's never happened. I've had colleagues talk to me about cases and say, hey, I see you're thinking of X. I've seen them now and I'm wondering about Y. What do you think? And that collaborative approach is not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing. But every time I'd be pulled aside to have those conversations, I'd feel my anxiety spike. And it's all because of imposter syndrome. And because of it, I apologize too much. I will, if I am asking a colleague to look after a patient or look after results, I will say, look, I'm sorry, I order some silly things, or I'm sorry if you find that I've missed something, or I'm sorry if I've left you a mess, or I'm sorry that you have to prescribe this medication for them. Again, I know now, and I know logically, again, the logic brain prevails sometimes, that I have passed all the hurdles and no one would have passed me if I was incompetent. I clearly fit the standard of a specialist GP in Australia. I know that because I have the pieces of paper. But knowing that I should be confident in that I don't know everything, that's part of the job, it's part of the fun, and that I should be receptive to criticism and change, which I am, but I shouldn't have to apologize for the type of doctor I am or the things that I do. So I've kind of struggled with the tense in this video because I want to speak in past tense. I want to say I used to, I did, when I went, but honestly, it's still now. And I'm slowly becoming more confident, and the only thing that's helped is time. That's a lie. I've also talked to mentors, I've talked to senior GPs, I've talked to friends, and it is nice knowing that what I experience is considered normal. It's also sad knowing that what I'm experiencing is considered normal. And it's not just my work life. I struggle in so many ways. I guess this video should just be, surprise, I have anxiety. But I struggle feeling like an imposter in all other ways too. So I haven't told anyone that, other than my husband, that I have YouTube or Instagram. Even, I have 600 followers on Instagram and I have 60 followers on YouTube, or subscribers, I should say, and I love you all. Because I'm not proud because it's so small, and it's really detrimental because if I did want to take off on either platform, which is not the point of me having them, mind you, I need to advertise. I need to tell people, come. But I don't. I'm too scared to, because it's just me. They're not big productions. Maybe someone will get something out of it. And that's the only reason I do videos like this, is if there's one person that gets something out of it, I'm happy. But I'm too scared to, because I'm worried they'll think I'm an imposter. I'm pretending. I'm trying to be something. And so what if I am? But it's scary. It's hard. Imposter syndrome sucks. Again, it should just be labeled, surprise, I have anxiety. I also teach medical students, and I don't give lectures per se. I give tutorials and sort of closed group discussions, but I'm really nervous to say that I teach med students because people hear that and there's this connotation it's sort of prestigious. It's just me. I'm just Kris. I'm not structured. Well, sorry. I'm structured, but I'm not formal. I'm not. I just have discussions because it's how I found I learned. But I worry that someone's going to go, you? Oh, they were really desperate, weren't they? Feeling like an imposter is also why I do so many courses. So I've done a course in eating disorders, in giving psychotherapy, so focused psychological therapies, in skin cancer medicine, in family planning, in pregnancy management. I'm looking at doing another skin cancer one. And it's because I don't feel like I have the confidence to, I guess, be a specialist. Like, I don't know how to vocalize it really. But the thing is, I'm allowed to learn with time. And I think it's great that I'm doing so many courses because I love learning. But I don't think that we should be expected to sign up and spend so much money on things. We don't have to know everything about everything. And maybe general practice is the rare exception there. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But yeah, it's honestly, if you ask me why I do so much, because I feel like I don't do anything. That everything I do is not half-assed, but just half. So imposter syndrome really sucks. We have our own everything, our own life experiences, our own beliefs, our own focuses, our own biases, our own confirmations. That's the beauty of medicine, is it's art and science and the beautiful intersection of the two. And that's why I'm a good doctor for some and I'm not a good doctor for others, is because it can be so unique, and it's such a good thing that we're all so different and that we have different fields of expertise and interest. And that's something that I'm working on, and I've been working on for a long time, but especially this year, is saying it's okay. And I'm allowed to be proud of myself, damn it. I'm allowed to be proud that I'm a specialist. Just because I'm in GP doesn't mean I'm any less than. I wouldn't say any of the things I tell myself to anyone else, to a registrar, to a friend, to an intern, to a med student, to someone on the street. So it should not be acceptable that I tell it to myself. And that's what I tell others who struggle with imposter syndrome, whether they be talking to me about as friends or as someone that I'm mentoring. I just have to believe it myself too. And I think time is going to be the biggest thing for me. I'm just impatient and I want now. I think the reason that so many doctors suffer with imposter syndrome is it's the personality type that is attracted to medicine is one who wants to strive for, high achievements and for the top type A personality, if you will. So we're more susceptible to it. And I think we're all fearful of falling into the Dunning-Kruger effect of being at the top of Mount Stupid, whereas we're all truly on the slope of entitlement. God, no, the slope of enlightenment. But we feel like we're always in the valley of despair. And maybe you flip between the two. But yeah, I never want to be on top of Mount Stupid. So maybe I did get lucky when I got into med school, and maybe my lecturers could have marked me harder. The reality of it is, though, is I'm not special. I'm definitely not that special. There is no way that I am the statistical anomaly and that I fell through every crack, every assignment, every hurdle. I passed all of them, and I passed with a good margin. There is no way that I should have failed. Statistically, it's impossible for them all to have made the same mistake and for me to have fallen through 100, if not hundreds of cracks to get where I am. I'm not that special, and that's a good thing. Self-reflection is a really important skill, but it can also be very detrimental when not done properly and not done kindly. And that's a lesson I'm learning. You are not a miraculous statistical anomaly, and nor am I. So thank you for letting me rant and ramble. Thank you for letting me share my story. And I hope that someone out there has heard this and has thought, oh, thank God it's not just me. Because it's not just you, and it's not just me. Counselling has definitely helped. Having mentors has definitely helped. And time is definitely helping. So there is hope out there. So please be kind to yourself and be kind to others. You deserve everything you've got. Truly. All of the good things, all the things you've earned, you've deserved them. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.